amigos of debate will be volunteering. Amigos of debate will be
can't kill my confidence, you think I give a fuck, that's what they do. You can't kill my confidence, you think I give a fuck, that's what they do. You can't kill my confidence, you think I give a fuck, that's what they tell me. All the fucks I ever gave
Hello, chat. Hopefully, fucking the stream stays up today. Boy, okay, so those of you that were not here, why am I not? There we go. Much better. Yeah, for those of you who were not present last stream or need a quick recap, we are currently doing some VTuber drama, which, means that yours truly is back. Now, there's been a bit of a drama-geddon. So I have some theories. Oh boy, I'm being cut off. Hold on, let me change VTube Studio to be a little bigger. I just want it to be a. Oh, it stretched me out. There we go. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about this. Yeah, so Diesel yesterday decided to go look at the Cinder situation, as they're calling it. Okay, so I have a theory. I think that this is like the Slazo situation. They even have S in their names. That's right. I am making a humongous prediction here. And here's how I'm going to say that it's comparable to the Slazo stuff, because that's a pretty outrageous thing to say. So for those of you that are familiar with commentary drama lore, the Slazo situation involved the group chat of people that all corroborated and boosted a statement after it was made live, within minutes of the statement going live, right? That is probably where the most culpability lies on people in that situation. And I think that there's a lot of that too here. So there are a few rumors, some of which have come my way. I won't say where I heard these rumors, but there's a rumor currently going around that this document was supposed to be released later. But yeah. So the TLDR on this document is that an artist by the name of Nanoless was being accosted by a VTuber named Cinder to become an exclusive artist. And in this, Nanoless was basically tasked with being the exclusive artist for Cinder, and it was a whole big back and forth. Basically, Cinder's manager and Cinder didn't want this artist working with other people. The artist kind of agreed with it in a moment, and then backed down later. They agreed with it so much that they stopped commissions with people that Cinder disliked. All without money exchanging hands, by the way, which is kind of weird. I don't think that's very, wrong to claim, right? Yeah, I don't know about that. I think people were just mad she was trying to hog Nano. No, I think that there's some behind the scenes ballpark going on here. And here's a few reasons why, right? And yeah, I know about the manager being the BF too, but I think that's a gross assuming ignorance of people in this situation. To continue though, the basic gist of it is that they didn't want Nanoless working with certain people in the industry, either to keep people from looking like Cinder or because they just didn't like their vibe, right? Yeah, so this happens to Nano, and some people capitalize on that because they have issues with Cinder, which is what Axis said in the chat, right? Yeah, so I do believe that this document saw many a VTuber before it went public. That's just my take. So here's the reason. The rumor is basically that this document wasn't supposed to come out. It was supposed to come out much later. So Madara-Khan from VSojo, she's like the mommy roach VTuber. You might have seen her. She's graduating from VShojo. As well as some other like big graduations are happening. So in order to avoid drama, this document was supposed to come out later. But there seems to be somebody that pushed this document coming out sooner rather than later because a bunch of people were going to speak on it. Which, of course, we've seen. Many of VTubers have spoken on this. Of course, Nanoless's document is the main source for a lot of this. Many of the Google Docs you've seen post Nanoless's doc are just people talking about how upset they are, along with the same screenshots that Nanoless posted. So I think that's also probably really funny. I think that's funny, mainly because it's just such a non statement. Like there's no reason for that, right? But I mean, Madara is still streaming. She has her IP and stuff. Yeah, she's just not a part of the company anymore. People still take that as a pretty big deal when you leave an agency like that, though, right? So yeah, moving on to my grand conspiracy theory that this was a not okay, I'll say it. I think it was a gay op. I think a lot of them already hated Cinder. I think there was just a lot of animosity there, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's some extenuating social drama that we're not aware of. But yeah. Sorry, I'm also trying to do the puppeteering thing while also doing this, so I got to remember to move myself around and shit, and it requires a level of multitasking that I'm not quite there at yet. Yeah, so the nano document was shared around to a bunch of VTubers before it went public. Bao spoke on it and talked about, or it was talked about that Bao had saw it, which is why Bao's name isn't redacted in some of it. And so as a result of that, I think Bao being somebody who got a hold of it early is pretty obvious. I also think Shy Lily got got it early. I think a lot of people got it early. So here's what I think. I think there's either a liaison or a group chat where that liaison goes back and forth between the VTubers and this document was shared. Because these people had all their documents ready to go the moment it dropped. Sometimes within minutes, which I think is a little suspect. And yeah, I think a lot of this has been capitalized to try and fuck over Cinder. Yeah, is Cinder completely business oriented? And yeah, is the shit she was doing with Nano very fucking cringe? Yeah, I agree. But I think that the level of outrage that's been produced by the VTuber community has been deliberately inflamed by a lot of the VTubers. And I also think that with that, the VTubers don't like Cinder, so this has just been an opportune time for them to go fuck her. Um, it's really way too convenient. I don't see it being any other way. This is something that happens. I mean, we've seen it before, right? I don't know why we wouldn't say that this doesn't happen into VTuber circles, because it does. Because they're clearly all petty. I mean, we've read some of these documents already, and some of them are just like, I think Cinder's a piece of shit. Like, who gives a fuck if Cinder cheated on her man, right? I think he's a simp if he's actually like been cheated on and like is still working with her. Like, that's actually like the saddest shit I've ever heard. But it's like I like are you fucking kidding me? Like, who gives a shit whether or not she's faithful or not? No one gives a shit. Like, I don't know why everybody sits here and acts like these VTubers are like, you know, oh, sweet little things who could do no wrong. Like, I really do think that there's a part of this where there's like a bit of a social dynamic played. And yeah, Cinder was probably a bit of a fucking social climber, and that probably rubbed people the wrong way. You know, I was thinking about it recently. I talked about how I hung out with some YouTubers recently, and Diesel was talking about Jake Doolittle. Now, I couldn't gauge whether or not the people I was talking to were friendly about Jake Doolittle or not without like exposing who these people were. They were very nice and kind, and I enjoyed my time with them immensely. I had to kind of like test the waters on whether or not it was okay for me to speak ill of him. And yeah, it turns out that was the case. I could definitely speak ill of him. They fucking hated his guts. But it's hard to like gauge that because you don't want to ruin yourself career-wise by being a little gossipy bitch, but you also don't want to be too nice that it looks like you're being fake about it, right? And clearly Cinder broke that. Parasociality is a huge factor in VTubing, though. I mean, yeah, clearly. It gets a lot of people a lot of money, right? Sorry, I need to sip my energy drink. But yeah, I don't think it's surprising that that shit happens. Not at all. You know, with all the parasociality in it, of course, everybody's got to pretend to be friends and all of that. Omni said this before, but they were tossing the term friend around way too much when they were actually coworkers. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I do believe that there's a listen, you can't tell me that there was no backroom baseball going on in this, okay? That document got shared around. People knew it was coming. All right. If they were actually good drama VTubers, we probably would have a lot more nuanced coverage of this. I think a lot of the responsibility on VTubers in this situation is being thrown out the fucking like window because oh, these guys are small little beans, right? I like these are grown adults most of the time, and yet we're treating it like it's not the case. I'm gonna hold the same standards that I would if this was a drama community thing. Are you fucking kidding me? Like there's no fucking way there was an editorial oversight by some of these VTubers. Okay, Nanolist is so pushover and so willing to agree with somebody else that they already agreed to stop commissions for people before any money exchanged hands. Another thing that bothered me, and I had talked about this with the ops, with Nanolist's document, is that there's a lot of screenshots missing from the conversation. I do think that there was some like more cohesive agreement said. There's just way too much missing for that not to be the case. I would believe that there's definitely something there, and in that missing part is where we know like how much money was exchanged, if money was exchanged, and what the actual agreement was. Because a lot of it seems to be like, you know, baseballing it and not really, you know, pitching the ball. Just kind of like, you know, getting up to bat and talking about it. I'm sorry, I'm using baseball a lot, but it's just a descriptor, you know, to explain it. And it's just, I like, guys, come on. The VTubers in this situation, you can't tell me that they're acting normal, okay? Everybody's overreacting to this. Like, when we talk about what Cinder has done versus somebody like I'm Alex, dude, talk about I'm Alex. Look at how bad that was and how much it took for that guy to finally have his career come down. Okay? But Cinder, this, bro, I've had like long conversation with people who should be like in prison. Okay? Cinder ain't that. Could you imagine how VTubers would handle someone like Illuminati? Holy shit. Like, I'm Alex is a bad friend, right? But then also, I'm Alex accused the guy of being a pedophile, accused the guy of being a sociopath, tried to ruin multiple people's careers, was a social calamity prick, never addressed any of his own faults, was allegedly and most likely a domestic abuser to his girlfriend. All right? They do have an Alex, they just don't talk about it. Well, then it's like, you know, very some for me, you know, one for me, not for thee, or whatever the fuck the phrase is. But yeah, like it's so ridiculous the standard that they're setting right now. And I'm like I cannot listen. I understand that Nano is in a position where it's like they were offered this exclusivity. I've already gone over and explained why I don't think exclusivity itself is inherently a bad thing. But with that being said, Nano not taking any responsibility for their actions is very telling. And the fact that all the VTubers are willing to just like allow them to be completely innocent in this is absolutely ridiculous. The only reason that Nano is innocent in this is because the VTubers can make money off of it, right? Like they get a lot from Nano's work. So it's very in their favor to side with Nano, right? But you know, Nano already agreed to cancel commissions. Maybe money didn't exchange hands and they just did it because Red asked, right? Red being the manager of Cinder. And it does look like they just did it because Red asked. Or it was either that money exchanged hands, they agreed to it, and then they felt bad. Either way, they felt bad and took it down and rescinded on the agreement they made, right? But it's clear something else happened. And yeah, it's Nano's one of the best in the industry. That's why. I will also say this. I've looked around. There are definitely people of comparable skill level to Nano that do not charge as much. It's very much they get a lot of work because they're very popular, and they're very popular because they get the work from the big VTubers. Um, but if they didn't have the clout, I don't even think they would have been able to mount this kind of attack on Cinder. I think if the clout wasn't in the equation, I don't think that this would be happening at all. I think people would ignore it, actually. I'm gonna click on this and it's gonna say Google Docky. I already know it. I'm gonna click on it. I'll do it. I'll do it. But only because it was sent to me. And because I'm Diesel. Let me move this.
They want to make an apology? Google Docky.
That was cringe. That actually ruined the joke for me. The joke was funnier when it didn't have a voice associated with it. Because I could imagine it in Jack Black's voice. Okay? I'm also, okay, at 27, I don't think I could get this weird parasocial relationship with VTubers that some of these people get. I don't get it. I don't get it. I enjoy watching a lot of VTubers. I watch VTubers. But some of these people are mentally ill. It's funnier when I say Google Docky rather than when it's like some guy pretending to be Jack Black. All right, here's the master thread. I'm June, Vamp Peaches. We read that. We've gone through a lot of it. This is the boyfriend stuff. Like this guy, this Rain guy, and then the guy before it, Vamp Peaches. These are just people taking shots to take shots. Like I'm a certified hater of people. Don't get me wrong, and I support hating, but like, come on, let's not try and say that this is anything other than I fucking hate your guts. Get shot, you know? Oh my god. My experience with Cinder, we read this one. This is the Cerberus VTuber who looks like a color palette swap. Yeah. I mean, yeah, a little bit. I think it was good you changed your design, right? Here's another thing. The VTubing community is so obsessed with being nice to each other that, like, me saying what I just said in that sentence is probably one of the most outrageously rude things you can say. I know it is. I know it is because I've hung out with VTubers and I've talked to them and I've learned a lingo. I've learned to walk where the wild things are, okay? And I hated it. And then there's Silver, who's like resident, victim number 45, right? But yeah, I'm gonna click on this and I'm gonna skim over it. But there's a few things I'm gonna mention, right? Yeah, the fact that every document start with "don't send hate anyway," but is pretty telling. Yeah, well, I like every time people say that, I always understand the sentiment, because you're trying to protect your ass. But the reality is that you don't actually fucking care and you want to take a shot. All right, so just don't even say anything. Just get into it. There we go. So listen. All right, I think I already read this one, but here's why I want to bring it up. Right? So Silver has the uncensored version of these messages. So obviously they went to Nano and said, "Hey Nano, can you give me the uncensored version of these messages?" So why would Silver do this? Why would Silver repost these messages? Silver's response could be a tweet. Silver's response could be, "I think it's really fucking rude." Maybe not even say fuck, I guess she's not a fuck kind of girl. But you could be like, "Hey, Cinder being such a backstabby friend was a really piece of shit thing to do. I also didn't like how she took a picture of my model and her without my consent. And that was really, really fucking rude." And then that's it. And then just end it there, right? But there's all this extra shit where Silver's like, "Oh, sorry. I don't wanna I don't want to get involved in doing business transaction relationships. I think we're really leaving a lot out here. Like that are like a lot of this is like, you know, posturing herself as like, oh, a little ooh softy baby who can't do anything. But like Silver's what, in her 20s? I'm sorry, but if you're past like the age of 19 and you're acting this mentally disabled, then there's like no fucking hope for you. I got like, thank God you're a VTuber who's making bread. But like, brother, how the fuck do you go and like order McDonald's and shit? All right, like this shit, like life is hard. I'm sorry, and business is difficult. All right. But Diesel, can you throw it back like the wild things do? You know, honestly, I can kind of twerk, but like I need to work on it. She uses the self-checkout. Well, I assure you the wagies don't bite, actually. They're pretty nice a lot of the time. But yeah, like, did a lot of this even need to be in here? Right? Like, who gives a fuck? And then also, a lot of this is just reposting without censoring the screenshots. So it's just like, okay, well, I know there was an exchange of things. I assume if it went to you uncensored, Silver, that it also went to Bow uncensored and fucking every other Tom, Dick, and Harry in the group chat, okay? Because if you're telling me that there's either not a group chat or that these messages didn't get forward, you're fucking gullible and I have a bridge to sell you, okay? It's T-channel mean girl shit. They'll all act like you're Oshi on stream, but the minute the stream shuts down, they're girl bossing and brewing tea. Bro, everybody gossips. This is the entertainment business. Shy Lily also suggested she had screenshots no one else put out yet when she torched Cinder's apology. Dude, Shy Lily, I guarantee you that bitch is fucking not only just gossiping, I wouldn't be surprised if she's one of the main people who looked over the Nano document. All right? Jesus Christ, she probably told a lot more people. But yeah, we read over this one, right? But I figured that stuff was necessary to mention. Let's see. There was a lot of autistic spurging about this. I'm usually not this anti-PC either, by the way. I try not to, you know, because my audience is neurodivergent bisexual women. But are you like, there's no other way to describe some of this behavior. Diesel, say a slur. Listen, man, I've been saying plenty about these people. Say the N-word, Diesel. I can't, I'm green. Let's see. So Giga is another VTuber, right? Just realized why an art project of mine was suddenly canceled. By the way, I haven't seen anything brought up about Giga in any of those prior messages, right? It just seems to be like that's a message that's missing, where it's like, hey man, make sure you fuck over Giga too, right? So it's just like that wasn't there, but you're just, so either Giga knows and has a message that hasn't leaked yet, or
and die.
There's something else there.
What do we do? Argue with you?
Non-corporate Vtubers are excessively desperate to not be corporate at all. They act like Vtubing isn't ultimately a way most of them make money and that it isn't a multi-million-dollar industry.
Yeah, there's like this weird, I don't know, I hate, and also Axis, thank you for the 20, that's very based of you. Yeah, dude, it's like people talk about VTubing like they're independent artists who are starving. And some VTubers are starving, but that's just because, you know, they're too lazy to get a day job or something. Because I've seen that. But it's just like this incessant need to not act business savvy. I love using this phrase. I've used this a lot of times for like different people in my life. But it's the individual that steps over dollars to pick up dimes. Catch me up, Oshi. Don't call me your Oshi. I'm gonna fucking, I'll literally sneak attack you, okay? Literally 2d6, take the damage, and roll a Constitution saving throw. Oh boy, that's really bad, I think. Call him Poppy. Yeah, don't call me your Oshi, call me your Poppy. God. But yeah, it definitely sounds like Giga knows something that's not public. All right. Diesel is our father, next to Beckett, of course. Oshi, Oshi, Oshi. Dude, this is actually how Western civilization falls. uh, let's see. Cinder's community Discord. Everything is locked after people start flooding the chats with questions and comments regarding the conversation. So it's like, everything is like, popping off. Everybody's getting a little cuckoo bananas. Oh, channel locked. Dino has locked the channel. Dude, the way most VTubers make their money is a massive whale. Because if you're not like humongous, you gotta like supplement that income with something else. That's why people be throwing it back and posting their bits on like OnlyFans and Fansly. I mean, it's a business, right? It's a business, so you make that bread. But it's like, like making money on stream as a streamer is really hard. Like, I say that like I'm, I'm putting in 12 hours of the tweet mines. No, my teaching job is way harder. I will tell you that right now. The only part that's difficult about streaming is the stamina to keep talking for multiple hours at a time. Like yesterday's stream was 3.5 hours, and I passed out because I usually don't talk that long for that straight. But like this one, I'll go like 2 hours and I'll talk straight through the whole thing, and then I'll just be tired later. Yeah, so it's just everybody yapping in a Discord. Nobody gives a shit about that. Let's see. Neon Tails, the other creator mentioned in Spite's doc that was bullied into silence and submission by Cinder. Do we remember when she sent her entire following to attack me because I had an ASMR roleplay with this Hellhound OC that was copying her? Okay, so, did she actually send her audience or did her audience do it on her own? Because VTuber audiences, I've noticed, tend to attack people who have, like, really dissenting opinions. VTuber audiences are really, really territorial and defensive of their VTuber. So is it that Cinder did that deliberately or just, like, implicitly? Because if Cinder was like, don't do work for her, that's one thing. But if Cinder was like, fans go attack, then that's another thing. And I haven't seen that. I guess Cinder mentioned it and the audience took the cue. I haven't seen anything. If one of the ops or anybody has seen contrary to that, this is the first time I'm seeing Yon Tails talk about this. Or how about when she was actively liking my tweets, calling me names? Of course we don't remember, because she made me delete every tweet regarding it after it happened. Okay. This VTuber came to me and told me to delete tweets. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? Did you delete tweets when somebody asked you to? If somebody were to tell me to delete a tweet, I would actually tell them to get hit by a train. Or how about when she was actively liking tweets, calling me names? I mean, that's mean. I get it. That's mean. I'll say it. I'll also like things that are mean, so I'm no better, but VTubers send their audiences after people a lot. A lot of them act like they're new to the internet and will do small call-outs, shit talk on stream, and will pretend it doesn't amp up the fans. Yeah, dude, I'm sorry. The internet's been around too long for anybody to feign ignorance like that. If you're in your 20s, you know better. Yeah, that happened during the V Shoujo Nux Taku drama. Yeah. Good point. That is a very good point. Actually, a moment where Nux Taku was a victim in a situation. I know he is very much detestable, but that was a moment where he was being attacked, where V Shoujo was moving lock, stock, and barrel to go fuck him over, which is insane. But, like, that shit happens in this industry. when they accidentally make, yeah.
Baba Boy.
I forget who said this, but someone long ago said that the Vtuber community is going through what the commentary and video game community have already been through like half a decade ago.
Yeah, they are. This is 100% history repeating. But now we have this infrastructure as like the drama community to like litigate and actually have a saying on it. But I'm too small of a tuber for my opinion to matter. Not that I want to be a VTuber guy who covers VTuber news all the time, but this was actually like, this annoyed me enough that I wanted to talk about it because I felt like not enough undue responsibility was being thrown where it needed to. Of course, we don't remember because she made me delete every tweet. This is mean girl behavior is not new. Smaller creators like myself were just intimidated into silence and pretending like it never happened. By the way, if you ever get in beef with someone and they tell you to delete a tweet, you're winning. By the way. Okay? And you should just tell them to piss off and kick rocks. Have a spine. You know what I hate? All these fucking people are grown-ass people who, like, you know, they'll throw it back. They'll spread it wide. They'll talk about fucking sucking and all this stuff. But the second they need to be a little adult in a little conflict, they can't handle it. It's like, brother, we'll just fucking shut it down. This is really easy stuff to shut down. All right, and now here's where the audience reactions start to come in. Thank Christ. But that means we're getting near the end of this. Pyropups are the audience of Cinder, by the way. Pyropups are throwing away Cinder merch / Gamersubs merch to show their support for victims. Okay, if I call you a slur on the internet and you call yourself a victim, I, like, actually put yourself in a ward. All right, maybe Nano's a victim. Maybe Nano's a victim. How much of a victim? I don't know. I wouldn't even say Nano's that much of a victim. But victims? You're saying this like Cinder fucking raped people, dude. Also, there are people who are like, I'm not going to buy Gamersubs anymore because of Cinder. Or like, they're like, I'm not going to be involved with Gamersubs anymore. Guys, Shy Lily is also a part owner in Gamersubs. Okay? If you're like, I'm not going to buy Cinder's Gamersubs stuff, and then go buy Shy Lily's Gamersubs stuff, you're still indirectly supporting Cinder. Okay? Like, I don't know. There's a lot of VTubers who have bread in the basket of Gamersubs. All right? If you ignore Cinder, it doesn't mean that Cinder doesn't get some kickback for it. All right? If Cinder owns stock shares in a business, Cinder is going to get returns on her stocks. It doesn't matter. Oh my god. This is actually, if you are an adult, if I click on this person and it's an adult, I actually think that they need to be an award, okay? Just a friendly reminder for some of your Cinder merch isn't fire resistant. As someone who looked up to her in the VTubing community. By the way, here's another thing. I get it. I had idols when I was getting started. I was also 14 when I started making content on YouTube. 14 years old, chat. I was a baby. You know who one of my biggest inspirations were? Here are the two biggest ones. I wanted to be a gaming YouTuber. I wanted to be like Total Biscuit. I also wanted to be like Jim Sterling. I don't want to be like Jim Sterling anymore. I'm sure Stephanie Sterling is a great person these days. I don't want whatever they're selling, and I'm woke. Not gonna lie, if Diesel was canceled, I still have a bunch of his merch or coffee. I would not just throw it all in the trash. I would love to see what I'd be canceled over. I already know that it would be over like a sex thing, but I also don't talk to people, so it would be that. Diesel's a sex pest. Who knew? I can't wait for that to be like 6 years from now, and I like divorce my future wife, and she's like, he would never stop gooning. Total Biscuit. I haven't heard that name in many years. He was my idol, and I was so heartbroken when he died. I was so heart. At least I have the grace of my idol being dead, so he can't sully his own reputation by being alive. Anyway, also sorry, Makeship, I love you. I have so many VTuber plushes, bro. Just gotta leave that door open just in case Makeship comes a knocking. I'm gonna click on this guy's profile. Hold on. I want to see. But yeah, so a lot of my ethics were like formed there when I was like a wee lad. And I moved on from that to, you know, commentary stuff. But I still kept a lot of that mentality. And then obviously, like I talk about how I wanted to be a war reporter, which was like an insane thing to want to be. And I'll just say it, it's an adrenaline junkie thing. That's why I wanted to be one. I wanted to be in dangerous places and meet cool people. That was really it. Hold on, I'm trying to look for... My favorite type of VTuber is the VTuber who's like, I'm gonna stream eventually and then never streams. There's a lot of those guys who are like, hey guys, debut soon. Debut never comes. You can be in dangerous places right now. My bedroom. Jesus. People. All right. All right. I can't believe 17 follower subscriber Andy over here. Not to punch down, but the guy who burned V-tweeters. Yes. Yes. The guy who burned his Pyro Pup plush. This guy. Hold on. This guy. What was his last stream? Dude, Twitch is so bad for this kind of stuff. Oh, 4 hours ago. He streamed today. Good for you. Good for you. You streamed today. You're doing great. You're doing great, son.
Welcome to Mandrake Farmstead, where we grow them with love from seed to harvest. If it's fresh mandrakes you need, you've come to
this clip is amazing.
What the fuck is this
Okay, you're too old to be burning your plushies. You're too old to be burning your plushies, mister. I just wanted to hear what his voice sounded like, okay? I was curious who made the post online. All right? Oh my god, this is so... Okay. So, oh, now we're on to Cinder's response, okay? People were asking me to cover this last stream. By the way, I also want to say, I'm gonna target some VTubers here. Ellie ends up in drama all the time, okay? Tricky ends up in drama all the fucking time, all right? Who else ends up in drama all the time that's down here? I've seen Milky in drama. Milky's been in drama. She did okay, Milky is a MILF cow VTuber, right? And she got shit from her audience when she streamed with a guy. I'm paraphrasing on the drama here. Excuse me if I'm not a fucking lore historian on this. But she had to apologize to her audience for streaming with a man. Okay? What's another one? There's definitely more. Akuma Miko is mentally ill. Mentally ill. So mentally ill. Akuma Miko, I like, I can't, like, that one was like, she's constantly in drama. She's also a V-tweeter. She's like one of those, by the way, she follows me. I'm sorry, but she follows like everybody. But she's one of those people that like fucking like can't keep her life together at all. Okay. Let's see. This Kofifi chick, Fifi. So Fifi got a bunch of shit for being homies with Nuxtaku back in the day. Dude, and I'm just doing this off rip. All right. I'm sure there's more if I knew better, right? Or if I knew more. But like, dude. Also, both Shy Lily and Cinder pay for like Twitter professional. All right, like this is the expensive version of Twitter because they have the fucking square PFPs. We should go over Akuma Miko sometime. She's very insane. Diesel ripping off that drama bandage like it's nothing. But these two women spending so much money for Twitter Blue, all right? That should be... when I'm president, that's going to be a crime, all right? Oh, boy. This is, you know what I love about streaming about Google Docs? I get to just read the document and you guys are like, this is great content. Still owe us an Austin Jones stream. I paid for the thumbnail from Cat, so I definitely got to do one to recoup the losses of doing that. What's your campaign slogan, boss? Melon stream next week. Okay, so what do we want to see from this apology before I even read it? I'm sorry for trying to hurt the careers of my mutuals. I'm sorry for pressuring Nano. And then that's it. That's really all you need to say. I don't even think it really needs to be more than a tweet's length, right? But we obviously got an essay, so I will be checking the grammar. There's nothing I can say to make this better, but I'll try my best to properly convey my feelings, frustration, and mistakes. I'd like to explain my point of view and apologize for each party affected. Red, Redacted, has been my co-content creator since I began making content. This is gonna be me when I'm the boyfriend of an OF model, right? And I'm like, honey, don't call me your cameraman. Call me your co-content creator. Oh my god. Also, co-content creator as a concept and sentence is so funny. This is a manager. He's a manager. Okay, he manages your schedule and brand deals and negotiates things for you. That's a manager. That's not a co-content creator. It's your ass that streams. Managing all aspects of what I do and being a major part of why I'm here. We've also been in a relationship since the start of my endeavors. This pairing of a manager and VTuber or a manager YouTuber relationship, I see that a lot. That's really common. I don't know how much of that is good and how much of that is bad. It really depends how much you want to shit where you eat, right? But that is one of those things where it's many such cases. Who's your co-content creator? Address the allegations. I think it should be pretty clear that I'm in a polycule with the Internet Explorers, okay? New episode out, by the way. It's no secret that many VTubers choose to keep their public and personal lives separate, and I am no different. Yeah, Cinder is not an exception to this. I think a lot of VTubers have their partners as managers.
I would you to grade this like you're grading a paper by one of your students. You need to get the red pen out and start correcting grammar/structure.
Oh boy. Oh boy. I mean, like, so far the grammar's not bad if we're being, particular about it. Yeah, it's very common in the indie scene.
So many people saw needy streamer overload and thought, hey, me and my so should do that for my content.
Yeah, no, literally. I've seen that quite a bit. Or like a YouTuber really wants a co-creator relationship with like an actual YouTuber. And it ends up being like a public relationship, and that's always a disaster. Look at I'm Alex and his fucking podcast, dude. It's no secret that many VTubers choose to keep their public and personal lives separate. I'm no different. As of yesterday, he is no longer working with me. Imagine firing your boyfriend. Imagine firing your husband. Hey, husband, I know you've been a faithful follower of me, but for public discourse, we need to say that we're separating. As of yesterday, he is no longer. This is exactly the kind of like, this is the wrong thing to open with. I would not open with this. I think this is a very bad way to open this statement. Let's see. And I have not extensively discussed any of this with him. Imagine your boyfriend is out at Whole Foods picking up the fucking $21.99 organic turkey breast, and he comes home to find out he's lost his job with his fucking girlfriend. Odds that Red said that this was the way to handle it. It probably was what Red said, which is exactly why he's a bad manager. I never intended to mention us publicly, but given that the claims are out there, I want everyone to know I'm taking this seriously. After years of working on everything together, his hyper business-oriented outlook warped my view of what it is I should be doing and what I should be important to me as I navigate this career path. I have a terrible work-life balance as it is, and being around projects and streams all day made me lose sight of the point. Are you okay, brother? I don't actually. Okay, an apology is not about how your work-life balance is terrible. You don't ever want to be talking about you in an apology. You want to be talking about what you did wrong, right? And you want to correct the record. All right? This is such a limp-wristed response. You're just like opening it up wide for your detractors to rip you to pieces. It took all of what was happening for me to realize this behavior isn't normal or healthy and not an outlook I want to have. Okay, being hyper business oriented is actually pretty good if you want to be successful, but like saying it's his fault that you're an adult, you have agency. I understand that our partners influence our decision making, but like ultimately the buck stops with you, right? The buck stops at the person who hits go live on OBS, not with your partner who sits around, I don't know, jerking off for 12 hours a day and talking to other VTubers in Discord. Let's see. This doesn't absolve me of the things I've willingly done wrong and went along with, or the ways that I have treated people who were fully undeserving. In regard to Nano, for the majority of the time working with her, Red was the one solely doing the communication about new plans and negotiations through his private DMs. Nano had a project server. This is a weird way to word this sentence, just grammar-wise. Nano had a project server, comma. We were all a part of where the actual art and models were worked on. Oh my god, okay. I don't actually want to sit here and talk about and like wax philosophical over the fucking grammar and syntax of this paper, but unironically, I hate run-on sentences. One of my biggest pet peeves when I'm looking at papers is like somebody who could really like, if you read a paper back to yourself out loud, you could see a run-on sentence really easily. This is a really easy thing to correct, okay? And it should be corrected, especially if you've like entered the real world. You should know how to stop a run-on sentence. Please, for the love of God. Okay. Nano had a project server we were all a part of where the actual art and models were worked on, but the conversations were focused around the work itself. Whew. Whew. All right. Is it a run-on sentence if you add a comma? I mean, a comma breaks it up, but you shouldn't have more than one, conjunction in a sentence, because otherwise the sentence just gets too long. I was not fully aware of the extent of Red's manipulation over Nano's commission decisions, and I should have been more diligent in my oversight. Well, two things here. She probably did know, but in her defense, when you have a manager, you defer task to them. I have people I work with. I don't always check what they're doing. I defer to them to do the due diligence of the task. So I'm not always checking. And that's true. You know, even with my editors, I don't always check everything. So, because I just don't have time, right? So that's possible. From my point of view, it was that she genuinely wanted to be working on these things. Nope, that's a stupid way to word it. You wanted to have Nano exclusively. Nano was down to be exclusive and then got cold feet. That's what happened, okay? Nano was willing to fuck other people over with you and then decided to change their mind. I wanted to work with Nano as much as I possibly could, making her art the face of my brand. We had come to the conclusion that it'd be in my best interest to talk with Nano about making more time for my projects by negotiating her to cut out other work. Yeah, so you're talking about a non-compete, which is something we've already talked about in prior stream. This was wrong for us to push her onto. No, you're trying. That's not. No, you're a fucking idiot. You're actually. I'm sorry, VTubers, but a non-compete is normal. It's really not out of the realm of possibility. How they negotiated it was terrible, and them making Nano feel social pressure to do it is also terrible. But a non-compete in and of itself is not bad. And you guys acting like it's bad is stupid because I know that you guys have exclusive editors. I know that you guys have people who are exclusive to you because the business wouldn't operate if you didn't have people like that. All right. How do you keep an employee? Oh, you offer them benefits. How do you keep an employee? Oh, you offer them competitive wages. If push comes to shove and somebody has more capital, you sign a contract. You say, you're going to work for me for this period of time. You're going to do these things. You won't do these things with other people. All right. That's normal. That's how business works. All right. There's nothing wrong with that. Your skills as a contractor are worth it. All right. Those things fucking happen. Yeah, you can have an exclusive official artist for talent as long as everyone agrees and pays fairly. Yeah, this whole perception by the VTubing community that having somebody exclusive is wrong is such a complete farcical statement. It's literally like I can't like I'm sorry, but again, not to repeat myself from last stream, but a living consistent wage will always trump sometimes getting a big pay occasionally. I love doing contract work. It's a lot of fun. It's always varied. It's rare. So it's hard to maintain a living doing that. Let's see. And I should have been more diligent in my oversight, blah, blah, blah. I wanted to work with Nano as much as I possibly could. We had come to the conclusion that it'd be in my best interest to talk with Nano about making more time for my projects by negotiating with her to cut out other work. So the way that you negotiate for Nano to cut out other work is you give the carrot, right? The stick is saying, hey, man, I want to work with you, but you got to cut out other people if this is going to happen. The carrot is the benefits or the things that you give to Nano, right? So you didn't give any carrot, you just gave stick. Unless there's a part of the conversation that we're missing, which I do think there is. I think we're missing a bunch of stuff. This was also wrong for us to push onto her. It was wrong to other creators who wanted a chance of working with her. Listen, I don't want to be that guy, but there's always somebody else. Nano's very talented. I'm not going to say that they're untalented. They have very good rendering skills. There's always somebody else. There's always somebody else looking for a chance. I know Nano's got a lot, but go to someone else. All right, give somebody else a chance. Take a risk. Do something else. Let's not pull up the ladder behind us and allow other artists to also get a chance. I know Nano is popular, but Nano is not the only artist out there. Oh my god, my eye is itchy. Let's see. There was one specific creator we were responsible for naming and pressuring Nano into reconsidering projects with. Not an entire list. You even used the words blacklist. Red used the word blacklist. That's a lie. That's actually just a really reprehensible way to word that. You're full of shit when you're saying that. And also name the creator. So that way you can apologize to them personally. Of her own volition, Nano canceled a large portion of her model commissions last September. That is also true. That is also true. Nano did do that, and Nano should take responsibility for making decisions that affected Nano. It is not Cinder's fault that happened. All right? Like, I don't understand how Nano isn't getting any flack for that. Yeah, I don't understand. Nano has responsibility as an artist, okay? Let's see. Oh my god. Grammarly. Shut the fuck up, Grammarly. Let's turn off Grammarly. There we go. Sorry. The only reason Nano isn't getting any shit is because Nano is a popular artist and people want to work with Nano, okay? However, the claim that I was just using her is wrong. I've always treated Nano with respect and as my friend. I did give her a lot of work, and we did everything we could to accommodate her schedule if she needed more time or a break, and even helped her with her own project payments multiple times. I've invited her on my stream, I've sent her my merch, things she's made for me. I've always been open to talking to her about things outside of projects, in the instances we would message each other. Regarding the exclusivity deal made between them, I had no part in the direct negotiations of the eventual agreement. So it sounds like there is an agreement, and we're just not privy to the details of that. And I had no knowledge of Bao and Cotton being included in this list. I don't know about that. I don't know if I believe you. If I had known my friends were included, I would have said something to put a stop to it. I don't believe that at all. I think you're catty. I think you are a catty bitch. But you're also not showing your fangs enough. Like, obviously apologize for what you did, but you should correct the record. And honestly, I think you should throw blame at Nano. I think this needs to be a little bit more scathing of people. I was only aware of it being about one person who I was unfairly pursuing. When Nano had messaged me about this agreement almost a month later, I was under the assumption that this was only about Silvervale. I was upset, and my initial messages to her were very guilt-trippy. But I wasn't going to force Nano to do anything she wasn't okay with, and tried... Okay, well, I mean, if you're guilt-tripping her, I mean, like, let's see that I was okay with her decision. Nano also never... Okay, honey, let's break up this paragraph with an indent and maybe a space. This is a really big paragraph. It actually makes it hard to read. Let's see, blah blah blah. Nano also never had also never come to me as seriously and professionally as her document was looking to address the issues she had with either of us or to terminate our partnership. I had no idea there was even a conversation about Shy Lily until recently between Red and Nano, until reading her document. It's very true. I had confided in Red that lately I hadn't been hearing like I had in the past and was worried something was wrong. Hey, here's how you do this. Hey, Lily, is everything all right? I haven't heard from you in a while. I just want to talk to you, girl. I know we're friends. It's like, how's it going? You want to just chop it up? You want to just, ask how everybody's doing, right? Like, how's the family? How's the kids, right? You just hit somebody up, dude. Why, like, obviously, I get it. Talk to your partner, but like, also talk to them. Like, reach out to them. And he took it upon himself to try digging for more info. Yeah, because your boyfriend is mentally ill. And I was never even aware Nano was planning to work on a model for another of my friends, Geary. I do not condone anything about what Red has said about Bao in these DMs either. And him using we and our in this context is abhorrently incorrect. And I believe was done to gain greater credibility behind what he was saying. By the way, I think Red should make a document. Not for any, like, morally justifiable reason, but so that way I can continue to read more about these people's personal lives. I love the ears on your model. I draw a dragon human hybrid, and I think that kind of ear would look really cool in my art. Sorry, try to stay focused. Oh, thank you. Yeah, my ears like wiggle when I blink. See? Red and I were initially upset when Bao hired my editor, and I took it personally when I shouldn't have. I don't know. How much of it do you or do you not take personally? Or, like, you could go to Bao and be like, hey, man, I also use that editor. Like, what can we come to, like, an agreement here? Because they're very good at what they do, right? Like, a lot of these things could be solved with, like, in a discussion that's had between two people. You know what? I hate to be that guy, but I feel like I say that for every drama. I felt like my content wasn't good enough or I wasn't paying enough for his work. But I accepted it. I was happy for him to get that bag and supporting one of my friends at the time. Okay, honey, these are coworkers, not friends. And yes, I was upset when Sack, the Boss Rush music video editor, had told us that he won't be working on any future projects with us and would instead be working exclusively for Bao. But Red got it. Why is that editor being like, I'm not going to work with you anymore. I'm going to work with your friend and never work with you again. But Red got it in his head that it was Bao's fault that it had happened and seemingly held a grudge against her for it. He's very passionate about Boss Rush and the potential future. What the fuck is Boss Rush, chat? What is that? Is that like, what is that? I've only seen Cinder's terrible music cover. What is that? Should I like be looking at that? Boss Rush is a song, I'm guessing by context clues. All right, well, let me just go look it up. Yeah, it sounds like a shitty mobile game. The Cinder situation is crazy. I'm sorry, dude. This stuff is ridiculous. Oh, it's just a music video. It's literally just a music video. Me when I get claimed by the titty VTuber people, Jesus. It's a band. It's a band? This is very good editing, I will say. Whoa, that kind of looked like the fucking racist symbol for a second. What was that? Okay, no. It's just the way that the artifacting and the glitch effect and the explosion in the white circle creates this weird lightning bolt circular shape thing. Is that Cinder singing? Oh my god, that's rough. Yeah, I saw the Black Sun, man. I did. Is this what people are like, oh, this is keto content, dude.
Keep it risky. Don't you test me, run away now, kitty. I drown in self-doubts, despair and breakdowns. I rose back up, welcome the one and only hell. Snuff out all of the lights. I'm the one who will guide all the ones who strayed away. You gotta realize.
This is a great talent, Cinder. You should keep it hidden. Yeah, ASMR does not transfer. Yeah, it does not. Oh, this is the one she got a lot of shit for. I'm sorry. This one's gonna make you guys laugh. I'll go back to the doc in a second. Nobody, white women saying Spanish numbers.
No quick head in my bed. I can't have that.
That's so bad. That's so bad.
Long neck, now talking giraffe neck. Ain't no laying down, man. We about to have late fun. I'm about to make your balls stick up like space buns.
Oh, honey. Oh, honey. I've heard good covers of this song. But Diesel, would you smash now? I mean, listen, man, if you put like a big-titted fucking waifu in front of me, of course I'm gonna say smash. What? I'm a straight man. What do you think I'm gonna say? No? Like, yeah, if she's given, of course I'm ready to receive. Oh wait, that sounded like that's not what I meant. That is not what I meant. That is not what I meant. That is not what I meant. You know what I mean. Diesel, you have no self-respect. I'm glad that one of my mods is keeping me humble.
Place it down my throat. Tongue tickle your dick, but not telling a joke. Pedal in this pussy, that's how you rock a boat. It get live in
This is not okay. I feel like this song should be like mildly sexy when you listen to it. She's just talking.
See, I'm not talking Periscope. In the sheets, I am a bully. Get more head than a hoodie. Every time you make me come, it looks just like vanilla pudding. Sit on your face
Oh, honey, you are literally just talking.
all day, please. They say it hurt me. Then I turn around and give the dick more kisses than Hershey's. Yo, dick brick hard like a metal. I got 3 holes for it like a pretzel. Tight as a verse.
This is literally someone riffing it on a guitar while she talk sings her way through it. I unironically put more effort into doing a cover of Baka Mi Tai when I was chilling in a VC with my homies. Okay? This is painful.
Boy, don't get nervous. Hi.
See what makes this more cringy is that she's trying to present herself as this like erotic sex symbol too. And it just like that mixed with like the lack of talent to sing makes it really, really fucking painful. Dude, I don't know what the fuck is with me streaming lately, and it just not holding up. I do not know why.
Serve your customer service. Save dick by giving it CPR.
All right, I think I'm done. That's enough of that. I think we got enough of that. It's so bad it's gonna crash my stream. Yeah, the OG is like not bad, but that was rough. I accidentally said that, Q. I did not actually. I don't want that. All right, it was like a misspeak. It was a misspeak. Don't say that I said that. That was a misspeak. It's a different thing than actually saying it. Like it's a different thing. Okay. Yeah. Where was I in this document? There's a lot here. And guess what? No paragraphs, so. Oh, Bao, the editor. Okay, so your boyfriend and manager was really passionate about your mediocre singing career. And had told us that he won't be working on future projects. He was very passionate about Boss Rush and the potential future projects around it. Every comment here, let's see, but it's my fault for never speaking with Bao about these things to directly clear these things up. I letting it spiral to the point it got to. Guys, I didn't address anything. I didn't talk to people, and as a result, I guess it's, you know what? I don't know why this is happening. Why is Diesel when he has a Freudian slip? Yeah. But now I'm just mad that my stream has been having problems these last few days. I don't really know why. And it's very stressful. I mean, it's mildly stressful. I'm saying it like I'm actually going to die. But I am trying to give as much bandwidth as possible to it. So I don't really know why that's happening. I need to address it. Maybe I need to call my service provider. Every comment here about her music, guilt tripping, and claims about her shared feelings towards her are disgusting, and I honestly don't know why he thought this way about my close friend beyond resentment over 2 things. Dude, my favorite thing about VTubers is that none of them are mature enough to have a relationship or even friends. The stream's gonna need CPR. Dude, let me do a thing. Let me do a thing. All this fighting for low effort music videos, yes. I'm going to try and up the bit rate again. But we're approaching the territory where I might crash. So we'll see. I don't know why this is happening. Let's see, blah, blah, blah. Every comment is disgusting. Dude, she is absolutely destroying her boyfriend and raking him over the coals. Green Man is failing. It's just business. Screenshots of my DMs with Nano's document was from November of 2023. I'll go into my thought process of everything I said here. What Red was trying to explain to Nano is that if everyone has a model by her, then the innate value of her models are overall diminished by there being an oversaturation of that type of model out there. Okay, if everyone in the world had a VTuber model done by her, then the value of having her model wouldn't be the same as if there was only a handful of them. Okay, I gotta be... Okay, listen. This is a stupid way to talk about art. Art's value is completely social. When you watch a auction of art... Let me close some of these tabs. When you watch an auction of art, the value of that art is determined primarily by what people feel the value of it is. If people feel the value of Nano's art is 10 grand, then it is not going to change dependent on how much of it there is. This is not a law of supply and demand thing. Art does not work that way, okay? I understand NFTs exist. NFTs hold no value because they don't exist. Could be a memory usage thing. Let's try. I'll check Task Manager. Actually, I mean, it could be Firefox. It's using like 50% of my memory. It might be time to leave Firefox behind. But we need to use it for now because it's where everything is. But yeah, this whole like valuation of the model thing is determined primarily by the customer and how much they're willing to pay for it. The value of it isn't determined by how much supply there is. It doesn't work like supply and demand. It doesn't work like that. Obviously, if you have a one of Picasso, that's like a different thing, but we're not talking about that kind of stuff here today. Let's see. Then having a model wouldn't be the same as if there were only a handful of them, which he viewed as a negative for me. I understand where he's coming from with this, but in the VTuber space, this isn't something we should have pursued. Nano has amazing skill where she's able to draw each of her VTuber children uniquely. This is really cringe. So I was never upset seeing a new model siblings. In many cases, I was there cheering them on at their debut and looking to collab with them as sisters when I could. Me saying it's just business was referring to my acceptance of Nano's business decisions, whether she chose to work with me or not. This was not in reference to any one model. Oh my god. I actually am so fucking furious about this performance right now, and I don't know what the problem is. I'm sorry. Me saying it's just business was referring to my acceptance of Nano's business decisions, blah, blah, blah. But my intention was to reminisce about the journey we had together up until that point. I wasn't sure if this is where Nano and I would stop working together as frequently as we had been, and I have to look for a new model artist, and then I encourage her to work on her own projects. When talking about Silver Veil, I need to start at the beginning. Oh my god, this is gonna take forever, isn't it? I have zero patience for the kind of behavior in this, honestly. Like, this is so, like, petulant and baby-coded. Diesel, get Brave. You know what? I think I'm going to switch to Brave right now. We're switching to Brave. I do need to keep a tab of Firefox open. There. Or, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to close it. I'm going to close it. Fuck you. Fuck you. Let me work on it. I'm doing it now. And I closed Cinder's apology. I'm stupid. I did it in an era of frustration and anger. Maybe I could output my stream at a lower quality. Fuck. I hate this because I really try to pride myself on actually able to like run shit pretty successfully and not boomer out, and I'm not, but let me try that. That'll end up lowering the quality quite a bit. All right. Let me hit apply. I just want to say that I pay for 120 down, 100 up. So, you know, I'm not happy. Especially since this has been the last two streams where weather's been kind of weird and performance has been this bad. I'm like bordering on being like so annoyed that I just go and like, let me just open up Cinder's YouTube and go through a Twitter through there. I almost said Titter. I just hope there's no boobies on here. Oh my god. Okay, so like I can't access a lot of her Twitter because I'm like, let's see, window capture, boom. Right, so a lot of her tweets are hidden because I'm not signed in here. But I just thought this was really funny that she went up on stage in front of an audience and it's just her thirst posting before jumping off. It's like, what is your talent? D cups. My talent is D cups. I mean, no shame, no shame. I respect that, but holy shit. Now I need to go find a fucking Cinder apology somewhere in here. I know that we're going to be dropping frames, so I know that this is going to be a disaster of a fucking stream just the whole way through. So it's whatever. I used to not have this problem with the do you think it's the VTuber causing all this? Well, then how come I've been able to run all those D&D streams with no problem? You know? That's why. I will say my memory usage is down significantly since going on Brave. Hold on. I'm going through and I'm looking for Cinder's apology in my big list. I was mesmerized by the baby sensory videos. I should really put them on, honestly. It might help. We're gonna see it. No, you're just gonna see stream crash, actually. Which is kind of the same when you think about it. Okay. It's just business stuff was referring to Nano's acceptance of business decisions. This was not a reference to any model being canceled. It further explained to her it's okay, blah, blah, blah. I read all that. When talking about Silvervale, I need to start at the beginning. Before Cinder, I was a pink cherry blossom girl named Tashi that did ASMR content. When the VTuber boom happened in 2020, I knew I wanted to join in. I know a streamer that pays for like 3 different ISPs because of this shit. Yeah, I don't really know why it happens. I know I'm using the internet at peak hours, which is the annoying part. And I also have to share the service with other people. But, you know, that's why I pay for a big service. Unless somebody's doing something stupid with the internet upstairs that I don't know of. Which is also possible. Let's see. The plan was read, and I contacted an artist in October. And they started my VTuber design by December. The plan was to take my cherry blossom persona, Tashi, and make her a pink and white wolf girl VTuber. In November of the same year, Silvervale revealed her Sakura Wolf redesign. I had heard of Silvervale earlier that year, and I didn't watch all her streams. We knew we had to pivot before we were stuck with a design that would be a copy of one of the most popular VTubers of all time. Like I explained many times on my stream, I knew I wanted to be a wolf girl. So I mixed up my love of okami and metal music. Yet, I'm a fan of metal music. Makes nothing but the shittest metalcore ever. Also, everybody who's like, I'm into metal is like actually just into the new metal. And even then, they're just kind of like into Bring Me to Horizon and nothing else. So I mixed my love of okami and metal music into design and came out with the Hellhound. Ay, Dios. You still do D&D streams? It's been a while. I want to do them again. My name was originally going to be Ember, but Red came up with the name Cinder since it was a mix of Sin and Cinder, both hell and fire themed. It was only a coincidence that it ended up being similar to Silver. I was genuinely interested in pursuing a friendship with her and drew fan art myself of us together. On the other hand, Red was in my ear the whole time, saying how great working together would be. Since again, he's been the business-oriented side of my brand, which is true, that's what a manager does. Since I started streaming, I have been ruthlessly compared to Silvervale, being called the discount version of her. All of you are just women on the internet. It is okay to just be a girl. I was accused of copying her design, copying her personality, even copying her laugh of all things. And there was a huge number of people who were diehard believers in the fact that I stole all of these attributes. I 100% believe that that was happening and that the audiences of these people got really mad at each other. Bouncing fruit now. I think my computer might explode if I do dancing fruit today. This is how you find out one of the people you live with is mining crypto. Honestly, maybe even not intentionally. I was checking the network security of my house recently, and I was checking to see what got blocked, and like it's my cybersecurity chops, which are not that amazing, is the only thing standing between me and total identity theft at the behest of my dad clicking every single link that he gets sent to his AOL email address. And so every time my internet gets bad, I'm just like, oh great, here he is clicking in another fucking email again. Let's see, blah blah blah. And there was a large number of people who were diehard believers in the fact I stole all these attributes maliciously for my own gain, citing the art I posted of us together, calling her an inspiration, when in reality this was referring to the decision to become a hellhound. The only time Silverveil was mentioned in the original designing of my character was when we explained why we were pivoting to something else, and there was no references of her character involved. I grew more and more resentful of Silverveil over time, between the constant belittling of myself, a controversy around my first waifu cup. What happened with her first waifu cup? Does somebody know? I'm still getting dropped frames. I don't know who it's affecting, but it says I'm losing 19% of my frames on stream. So I don't know what that means, but that is affecting it. But yeah, I think Firefox was actually a big fucking problem. Not that I'm a huge Brave fan. Even though she herself, let's see, she herself never interacted with me directly. It was also the fact that made me insecure, like I wanted to know if she believed all these things or not. It really felt as if she didn't like that I even existed in the same space. I wouldn't be surprised if she didn't like you. She probably didn't like you for your vibe. You guys all seem like catty, terrible people, so it's completely possible. It was the point that Nano consistently... so at that point, I was working with Nano consistently. We brought up not making any more models of her, which is very funny. If a VTuber model is how everyone recognizes you, then it'd be harder to compare us directly if we no longer look alike or shared similarities. Why didn't you go to a different artist? I feel like that's something that's never come up here. It was wrong and a selfish decision, but it made me feel better, and that's why I was a constant topic with Nano. Red pushed harder for this than I ever did because he knew how it affected me for years. But no matter the outcome, I wasn't going to walk away from working with Nano. Silver was completely undeserving of this treatment, and it's my own insecurities that led me to making this choice. I became unapologetically evil towards her, doing no direct action of her own. There's no excuse for any of this. Okay, so that's like a pretty straightforward way to be like, I did wrong. Moving on from Silverveil, let me talk about Spite. Once again, I had no knowledge of Red bringing up Spite to Nano in 2023. My only involvement was excluding... Okay, so is all of this saying that she's just not guilty of knowing about these things? I don't know when I first discovered Spite, and it could have been after she debuted. When I first debuted, I was very possessive of my design and details. Yeah, this does sound like a lot of dramas we've had so far. This does sound like that thing from Sniper Wolf, yes. But I never did anything about it other than voice my frustrations to Red. I didn't want to start drama with anybody. I didn't have ownership over Fire as my design detail. The references for the ripped shirt and shorts and bikini was given to Nano in June of 2022 with the purpose of having a cover-up outfit that would be safe for Twitch. The merch art she's referring to was designed around my concept of my fire changing blue. The fact was, somebody is DMing me right now. I am not buying a Silverveil metal shaker from G-Subs. Though it would be very Sigma. It would be very Sigma to buy her Mortal Enemies cup. If I remember correctly, Cinder's first waifu cup almost looked like Silver's. Like the same pose and everything. Since the cups are almost colorless, people could barely tell them apart. Okay, what about, like, why is all the responsibility of this thrown onto the VTubers who don't draw this art? Like, why is it always them? What about the people who are, like, the artists doing this crap? Let's see, the blah, blah, blah. The fact that the rest of the art was grayscale was the artist's choice, since it was going to be the back of the hoodie. I didn't have a say, or at least I didn't counter the final decision. There was no intention to deliberately look like Spite with this piece. This is like the my furry OC looks like your furry OC drama. Am I wrong in saying that this looks like our furry OCs look the same thing, right? I think for G-Subs Cups, it's like a commission, which means Cinder requested that pose and such. I gotta ask the person I know at G-Subs about that to see how that's all done. Let's see. Unfortunately, both my angel and my sleepy outfits being similar to Spite has done in the past was just a coincidence. I was always planned to date one day. By the way, I understand that this isn't like an amazing apology, but somebody compared this to Colleen Ballinger. Somebody compared this to Colleen Ballinger. I think you should be smacked for that. Actually, I think that's one of the worst things that I've ever heard read. I thought the VTuber Me Too thing was cringe, but like saying that this is like Colleen Ballinger, like you should be tarred and feathered, motherfucker. I should just buy. I should buy all of them. I should buy all of them. Cat, I am not buying. I'm not buying all these G-Subs cups, Cat. Why are you sending these to me? This all seems like pushing the blame. Yes. Well, Chris, I saw your coverage of it, and listen, man, you need to learn to talk of the VTubers in order to cover the drama. Because it's so nuancedly stupid in a very particular way that requires you to understand the lingo of it. But yeah, they're 100% just trying to kill her career. This is a hatchet job. Like, there's no other way, because she has, like, she's been a piece of shit, but like for however bad Cinder has been, none of it was really that bad. So it's like trying to destroy her career over this is absolutely wackadoo bullshit. The sleepy outfit was a last minute decision to pivot. And by the way, I know that VTubers are cliquey. So now, like, anybody that works with Cinder is going to be fucked. Can you cover the Bunny IU drama? It's really... Is the Bunny IU stuff where the Mean Girl group chat is from? Is that like the E-Girl group chat stuff? Or is that like another thing? Otherwise, I'll look into it. It sounds fun. We need something for a slow day, right? Spite also... Yeah, like, all these people... Like, a lot of this stuff doesn't matter. Like, I'm sorry, but I don't really give a shit that she was mean to someone when she was like an ASMR channel or whatever. They're an ASMR artist who at one point posted a Hellhound OC for an upcoming ASMR video, and it was undoubtedly created using me as a reference. This was right after my debut, and like I said, I was very protective of my design and elements being unique, and I overreacted. Shortly after, I apologized, and they agreed to adjust the character design, and I thought the matter was settled. Interesting. Can you provide DMs? So this is one of those examples where her argument would be bolstered if she showed DMs, right? Like, we've talked about like why DMs can help make a really good apology. But this is one of those right there. I actually think she should have had somebody who covers drama look this over. I'm sorry. I know I say that and I recommend myself all the time, but I genuinely would look at this and give a good, like, shake of it. But a lot of these motherfuckers don't do that. Unironically, they need like a crisis management person, these VTubers, dude. It's insane. But yeah, I guess according to this, Cinder did send hate her way. So really vague way to put it, but it sounds like that's true. At the start of my online career, I was a GFE. Okay, what's the GFE stand for? Good feel E. What's that? Yeah, it leaves it open to interpretation. Girlfriend experience. Thank you. That's sad. When I started my career, I was a GFE ASM artist. Before I started my channel, I had gotten into listening to roleplay audios myself. I'd always been a shut-in throughout high school and college. Really. Oh my god, dude. Okay, for all it's worth, Cinder is very pretty as like a regular woman. Where are these people? I don't remember anybody looking like this. When I was in high school, everybody that was into anime looked fucking horrendous. And I gotta be honest, most of them don't look any better now. I will be like, unironically, I'm an exception. I have one friend who I caught up with recently, and they do VA work for porn, and they're a VA for like porn and video games. And they 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 didn't glow up at all. They literally were wearing the same clothes that I saw them in for the last time when we were 18, and it's been over 8 years. Okay? They're at home hiding from you is where they are. Yeah, but it's just like, I always find that funny where it's like, I was a shut-in in high school and college, and I'm just thinking back to my experiences, and it's like, if you looked like that, you did not stay inside, because people wanted to hang out with you. I mean, even me, like, I had a lot more experience. I guarantee you that I had a lot more experiences as, like, a college guy in gaming college, because I wasn't ugly. I mean, I don't think I'm beautiful or anything, but I guarantee you, part of the reason people wanted to hang out with me is because I looked inviting, and I was clean, and I showered. But, like, most people don't. That's really uncommon. I know that sounds ridiculous, but like, I feel like, I don't know, maybe they put like testosterone and estrogen in the G-subs in between when I went to high school and now. Yeah, I don't really want to say that like hot people only got into nerd stuff when it got popular, but I just know that the hot people made fun of me relentlessly for that. If it's any consolation, some of the people who were really hot in high school ended up becoming like fucking decrepit and like disgusting now, and they're like mid-20s. Every now and again I'll run into guys at the gym that I used to know in high school, and I'm like, damn, brother, you looking like a mess. Click has flat out said he knows that part of the reason he's successful as he is on YouTube is because he's very attractive. Yeah, Click is very hot. I don't know how Click is a handsome guy, right? I don't, like I said, I don't think I'm amazingly attractive, but like, Jesus. I don't know. I just felt like I know this is a tangent from that stuff, but it's just like, if Cinder was in college and would go out with her girlies, the amount of drinks that would be given to her at a bar would have been insane. And I wasn't happy with where I was in my life and relationship at the time. After uploading my first few audios, my channel started growing fast. This was the first time I was inundated with so many people wanting to know me and talk to me, and I got lost in the excitement of it all. Not coming fully to term with these messages being because of the kind of content I was making. There's no way this girl was like, I'm doing girlfriend roleplay on the internet, and now people want to sleep with me. Are you fucking this? I'm sorry, but like, I don't believe that you're that gullible. I was immature and inexperienced with how to conduct myself online. You're full of shit. Zoomers being like, I don't know how to act online. I couldn't believe that people talking to me on the internet weren't my friends. Are you kidding me? If Zoomers are actually that fucking disabled when it comes to using the internet, we're really cooked. But I think that's a lie. I don't believe that at all. I had never had many IRL friends, and I had met Rain doing ASMR. I quickly became comfortable chatting with him about everything, divulging my grievances about my personal life when I shouldn't have. I cheated on my boyfriend with Rain in these conversations, flirting and sexting. I used Rain for emotional comfort and sexual fantasy, while I let my real-life relationship collapse. It was about my dissatisfaction with my personal life and escaping into messages with someone. I'm sorry, but the fact that Red is still with you after you cheated like this is outrageous. And he's a massive cuck. She is saying she cheated because she's terminally online. On top of that, between the cheating stuff and this stuff with Red now, it kind of sounds like you guys shouldn't be in a relationship.
Pretty sure she's full of it. She was a cosplayer in the 2010s. It's mentioned in the Dexter 2 article about her.
Yeah, so I'm very skeptical that she didn't know she was hot stuff. I'm sorry. Listen, not to be that guy, but everybody who's attractive kind of fucking knows it because you get compliments all the time. I know I get complimented more than the average man, and I'm a fruity ass bitch, okay? And I love tea, and I love Mean Girls, and Buffy is great. I know what you got. Listen, man, I read the books. I know what the ladies want. Keep going, keep going. Yeah, it didn't pan out. She was looking for sympathy. So true, King. Let's see. Escaping into it with someone else who I found through content focusing on girlfriend and boyfriend RP. It was never about climbing the ladder with Rain, and I find that being his takeaway from why I moved on is baffling. By the time I was ready to debut as Cinder, I wanted to leave that in the past. All right, I not to listen, man. I don't know how much decorum you need with a side piece, but maybe be like, listen, man, I enjoyed the sex thing, but that's done. Is like a really good way to like close up shop with somebody. Just an idea. Hi, I just got here. Can you give me a recap or something? So you know in Minecraft when Jack Black says chicken jockey, it's that, but it's Google Docky, and it's just like 40 Google Docs of people being mentally disabled on the internet and not understanding social cues. Green 10 out of 10. I'm so glad that I'm green pilling you guys. Let's see. By the time I was ready to debut as Cinder, I wanted to leave that in the past. Still to this day, I regret my decisions and have been living with that since. I was lucky to be able to mend my relationship after this. Guys, does the relationship Cinder have with Red seem healthy? Because I don't think it sounds healthy at all. It kind of sounds like the relationship is not only both of them talking past each other, but neither of them listening to each other, and neither of them really respecting one another. It really does sound like they should break up. If Cinder would like a rebound, she knows where to find me. I do not think she's a terrible piece of shit. I just think she's a moron. Women love it when you insult them. Isn't that right, Chad? She was an award-winning competition cosplayer. Dude, she must have been getting quite a bit then. Yo, adoring fan, what up? Buy Azura, buy Azura, buy Azura. It's FPS Diesel. I can't believe it. It's you standing here next to me. At last, I want to address Peaches. Jesus Christ. This is a very big problem I have, and I'm sure many others in my position do too. At the end of the day, I am one person. I am one person working on multiple projects with multiple companies. Guys, I have a job, and my job has responsibilities. All right, whoever does these like funny meme accounts, this is probably the best one because the adoring fan really fits in well here. Is this something you need? Can I carry your weapon? Shine your boots? Back rubs, perhaps? Guys, I work so hard. I'm one person working on multiple projects with multiple companies, talking to dozens of people, and streaming for hours almost every day. I've never had a big social battery, and I get tired very easily when interacting with people. I want to go up to somebody like this and just scream in their face. Probably not helping my bull posting after I said that... I'm actually a piece of shit. I'm really a piece of shit. Uh, I'm a bad person. uh, Diesel, that's mean. Me going up to introverts and screaming at them until their social battery drains. I haven't been able to keep up with my closest handful of friends on a frequent basis, let alone everyone else. Red has always been a big help in keeping up with things, but he doesn't do everything. I'm sorry, but your boyfriend actually sounds like he's a really bad person. I'm sorry I made you feel forgotten, Peaches. I've always cherished your friendship, and I was so incredibly excited to meet you in Paris. I'm so grateful for everything you've done for me, and I never thought to purposely drop you because I could. I'm sorry. I know a lot of people feel forgotten or ignored. It's so easy to get caught up in projects or what I'm doing. Well, I have the energy to do it. That people fall by the wayside. Guys, friends move on. It's okay. You don't need to apologize for the fucking, like, friendship you had. It's over. You move on. Who was in Paris, Cinder? You know who else was in Paris? Guys, come on. I understand he made graduation, but after the whole sucking your cousin's cock thing, I think we've ran out of graduations. Dude, I can't believe we got Nazim's in Paris, dude. Dude, I thought we got to the Cloud District, but we don't even get to Paris very often. I do not deserve to be able to contact everyone involved directly. I don't deserve to be able to contact everyone directly to personally apologize, so I'll do it here. And then, oh my god. I'm sorry. Wah, wah, wah. Wah, wah, wah. Diesel, the things you say alarm me sometimes. Me too, man. Me too. I think I might be crazy. I might be a little kooky even. Oh, Diesel. I know who all these VTubers are. It's breach containment. I know who most of these VTubers are too. Rare self-aware slug statement. VTubers dox each other more than I ever doxed anyone. But holy hell, is this their breaking point? The vibes are different over there, okay? Oh my god. Let's see. I felt overly attached to our relationship over the past 4 years. Fucking blah 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 blah. To Bow, to Sack, I loved getting to chat with you. To Cotton and Lily. Since the start, I love that I saw someone else sharing so many similar interests than me. Just be like, I hated your guts, bitch. I hoped you dropped dead. I was not a fan of you. And I thought maybe someday we could talk about it and be good friends. I was blinded by all these hate comments around me, calling me your lesser half. I hate the person I've become towards you. I tried reaching out some time ago to start up a friendly conversation to change things and make things right. Say hi to you at conventions, support your endeavors. Despite it all, I was still being eaten alive by my own doubts of fear or harassment. Silver sounds like a bitch too. I'm sorry. Fuck you. Everybody involved in this needs to grow a spine. I'm sorry. You're not going to be friends with everybody, and you shouldn't base your friends off of, like, such, I don't know, tertiary, like, superficial things. Yeah, these statements come through a forked tongue. Yeah, I don't believe a lot of these apologies are genuine. A lot of these people that she's apologizing to have already taken some serious shots. So, like, I can't imagine she'd be genuine in any of this. Let's see. To Spite, to Peaches, to Rain. Oh my god, this is, wait, the guy. You were the first person I met as an ASM artist. During that time, I was immature and vulnerable. Oh my god, that one's the funniest. I ended up being consumed by the content I was making, and it led to me making awful decisions. I still think about it and regret. I'm not in a good I was not in a good spot at the time. I've hated myself for that kind of behavior. It took me a long time to move on from what happened. I have no excuses. I'm sorry you were dragged into my drama, and I'm sorry how I made you feel after I wanted to close the book on things. Oh my god. Dude, imagine being a side piece 5 years ago and getting an apology from the chick that you mutually masturbated with. God. Also, one of the worst things you can do in an apology is an apologizing to your fans. I'm going to follow you and watch the ground and worship the ground you walk on. Let's go. I don't know who this slug entertainment is, but he sounds bothersome. Oh, Grand FPS
Anyways,
Diesel.
what should I order on Uber Eats?
I think you should get Wingstop. That's my opinion. Or your regional equivalent. I'm thinking wings. Oh my god. I'm sorry to my Pyro Pups. This is bad. This is bad. I know I skipped over all those other apologies and they're probably all equally as bad. But nothing is worse for a YouTuber apology than apologizing and saying you're going to make it better for your fans. Okay? I'm sorry, my Pyro Pups and my mods, for expecting me to lead by a better example than this. I'm sorry to the VTuber community for looking towards me as someone to aspire to. This whole, like, aspiring thing is absolutely outrageous, okay? I'm sorry to Kaiser, who put his heart and soul into everything he's done for me, and not even talking to you about how I felt. I'm sorry to the dozens of artists who have put their hard work into me, and I'm sorry to the rest of the fans who have let down. I've led a bad example, and I don't expect forgiveness. I've made a severe and constant lapse in my judgment, and I do not expect to be forgiven. Dude, did you guys see where Logan Paul was like, listen, man, I don't want to sound like a woke asshole, but, like, women have it bad sometimes. This is like Diesel saying, I'm sorry, my gooners. I'm sorry, let's see. I've led a bad example, and I don't expect forgiveness. I've made many mistakes over 5 years on the internet. I'm only one person living the one life I get for the first and only time, like everyone else. Oh my god. Guys, you gotta understand that she's just a 25-year-old neurodivergent minor. What does that even mean? That is actually... This is bad. This is so bad. Guys, I'm literally neurodivergent and a minor. I was born yesterday. I have 1 HP. I'm just a tiny little goblin. As I said at the start, I ended up developing an extremely unhealthy work-life balance. And the harm Red has caused with this, the way he viewed things, is irreparable. Yeah, my boyfriend is the one who did this. Okay, honey. The way I've been perceiving things lately is not how I want to view the world moving forward. And this goes to show that I need to address and improve if I'm to continue being a creator. I'm devastated that the friendships so special to me may be understandably never mended again. I love my job and I love all my friends that I've ever had. Thank you for reading, Cinder. Oh my god. Nani would have made a great VTuber, actually. No, Nani wouldn't have been able to handle it because she would accidentally, I don't know, crash the computer as if she was driving an ambulance. I will not elaborate on that. And I'm sure it'll make her mad. By the way, her boyfriend ended up going to Twitch because he didn't like it whenever I stream sniped him and joked about him. So now he streams on Twitch to like 2 viewers. I know you're a certified hater, Cloudy.
Cat was taken celebrates 23 months of membership. She don't believe in G-Sups but she in waifu cups.
That's so true. Whipping out the live 2D for this one. Very true, yes. All right, there's a lot with this that's just absolutely irreparable. By the way, all this being said, ultimately this drama is not bad enough to ruin her career over. Like, people are saying that Cinder's career is cooked and that she can't be a VTuber anymore, or like she should like go away forever or something like that. Hold on. I'm like, I've like fucked up everything. I gotta like work on fixing things now because I gotta like a bunch of windows. Yeah, like people are saying like, oh, Cinder's career, Cinder is fucked. She's never coming back. She's not allowed to be back ever. And here's the thing: is that this isn't like that bad. This like, yeah, she's been ousted from the clique. I don't think she should have her career completely upended. I really don't think so. I understand people's problems with her, but I think this is one of those things where it's like she should be allowed to make amends over time. I'm not trying to like glaze her or be like a fan of her or anything, right? Like obviously I don't like her. I think she's a bit like cringe. But like at some time she should be able to stream, right? She should be able to make money. She should be able to participate. She doesn't need to be like a top tier VTubing is just a massive circle jerk unless you're a corp. Yeah, she should try being funnier. But yeah, there's just so many things that Cinder can do in the future. I don't think her career needs to be predicated on whether or not she's just like collabing with people. I understand that's a big function of VTubing, but you should be a popular streamer first. You should be able to maintain an audience first, and then that's something that should enter the discussion. I feel like people are using the crutch of collabing and like socializing with other VTubers as like a crutch for not being entertaining. There are entertaining VTubers. I've watched many, but there's a lot of people who are just like, I mean, they don't understand the art of streaming. Okay? They don't understand. But Diesel, the girly pops are wounded now. Listen, man, I understand being wounded and like you feel like your friend's actually a fake fuck. But like, you know, just be funny. Be entertaining. No VTuber is entertaining, especially this Diesel IRL guy. String him up. Cinder will take some time off and she'll be back without the girlies. Yeah, exactly. And I think that's fine, and I don't think that needs to be anything else. But people like burning the clothes or like doing all this outrageously performative shit is really ridiculous, and you need to grow up. Like maybe you don't want to be a fan of Cinder anymore, that's fine. Do yourself a favor and just donate the clothes. Because I've seen that happen, by the way. Some people donated the clothes. But there are some that didn't, and some that like, you know, threw it in the garbage, and that's really shitty. Or like there's just people acting very petulant and childish about this. Yeah, the gamer sub stuff. Yeah. Yeah, there's like a bunch of other stuff where it's like I don't know how this is gonna work now because Shy Lily and Cinder both own portions of G subs. So it's like, how does that even work? Or does somebody buy Cinder's shares? Right? Yeah, of course my stream is lagging. But it's like, yeah, like how's that even gonna work? And also with the G-Sub stuff, Nano was being offered G-Subs like exclusivity deals and stuff like that. I don't know if Cinder can give that, and this is all dependent on like private backroom deals that happen with G-Subs. But it's just like, like maybe Shy Lily knows a lot, right? But I've never, I personally, I pay attention to the VTuber sphere. I don't cover it often, but every time I do, I see that the like reactions are really, really bad. And the entire community needs to grow up. I know that this is like something that happens in all creators genres and everybody goes through it. But like there's an infrastructure now where you can reach out to people who are skilled in this stuff to navigate these things better. And it blows my mind that they still choose to navigate it poorly. I mean, G-Subs in general seems very unorganized as a company. I'm sure their logistics is pretty well organized. Maybe some of their marketing and brand management is kind of having a little bit of a day. There's the whole Great Replacement VTuber they signed. It feels like VTubers are uniquely parasocial, which amplifies everything. Yeah. Nah, I wouldn't give up shares over some internet drama. Yeah, but you could see there being pressure for that behind the scenes, especially from the other VTubers. Remember how cliquey they are. And if they own shares in G-Subs, that is definitely going to be something leveraged. Think about all the things that were leveraged in this drama already. It would not be impossible. But yeah, I think a lot of these VTubers talking big, where they're like, don't witch hunt, don't do this, don't do that, are lying straight through their teeth. They wanted to see Cinder burn, and they got that. Pun intended, by the way. But, you know, I think some of it's warranted, some of it not. And I think one day the hatchet will come for you too, as it comes for everyone else. It's just kind of a byproduct of the industry, right? I'm sure there's people I've wronged too. I know there's people I've wronged, but you know, I stay consistent to my values, and that's really what matters. I think Gamer Subs is better tasting than G Fuel. I haven't had the opportunity to taste G Subs. I'm getting some sent to me, not by G Subs, but by a creator. And I'm gonna try it out then. But I've mainly had G Fuel just because it's what's been offered to me, or been available. But yeah. Some people say that this might have been something Shy Lily planned for all. Dude, if that's true, that's incredible. I don't know if Shy Lily's that guilty, but I don't think Shy Lily is some little sweet little muffin who can't hurt anybody. I think she's smart enough to understand the dynamics of a social business. Controversial opinion, I kind of like VTuber drama because it doesn't involve pedophiles or domestic abuse, so I want more of this. Well, man, if people use the fucking server, yeah, I'll do more of it, right? I check the threads and stuff, so, like, you know. Well, I've been watching since Loudmouths. You're certified old head. You have the status of Unk. Shy Lily's too German to be trustworthy. But yeah, I'll do more. I'll do it in model, assuming my internet keeps up. But it's always weird. I feel like more people watch me when I'm using my when I'm using my flesh. That's a weird way to put it, but that is how VTubers talk about it, right? My VTuber drama or me using a VTuber, I actually get less views. So people want to sit there and actually just jork it to me, which is crazy. Man hot, that's why. Yeah, man, it's hard. It's hard. I'm like one of the only 3 men in commentary who's attractive. It's very hard being me. Yeah, I know some VTuber drama involves that stuff. I'm not like super interested in it. When it's that kind of stuff. I'm kind of tired of all the pedophile stuff. I need like a break from it. Just because, you know, it's exhausting. Yeah, I would get more viewers as a VTuber if I was a female goblin. That's the server for people who aren't in it. You have to have a account that's older than like 4 months. Or no, 6 months. Because we just want to cut down on alt accounts showing up or anything like that. 6 months, yeah, 6 months. You can do Ethan Hassan Destiny. I'd actually rather stick a metal rod up my penis. That's actually what I'd rather do is explode in a fiery explosion of disintegrating pain. Okay? But yeah, anyone can suggest topics. There's a whole like forum section on the server where you can suggest topics. Because I'm always looking for new stuff to cover. The ops covered a lot, but you know, I really like the community participating in stuff. For some reason there was like a shitload of people in VC today, which is great. So that's Poggy Champs. Get a V-neck shirt and jiggle bits. Dude, I had done like 2 straight like weeks of work, no gym, and I definitely put on some weight, but I was also eating pretty fucking bad. So I got like some pudge going on right now. I'm dad bod maxing. Diesel into pegging and sounding. Listen, if I had to bite the bullet, I would much rather be pegged than sounded. Sounding just sounds like the most awful thing ever. I shouldn't even mention that I could be convinced. Yeah, sounding sounds scary. What if you like rip it out and then your penis explodes or something? I don't know. Or what if you need a pee? I'm asking the real questions here. Diesel, you don't want to be sounded. I don't want to be sounded. Anyway, I've lost access to the ability to access the streaming tab on YouTube because I'm stuck inside Brave right now. You know, so I'm going to leave now. But thank you all for coming out. I'm going to go watch the rest of the rehearsal. I'm just rewatching the whole thing. But I'll check you guys out tomorrow. But yeah, I will repost the Discord link. And we have a new episode of fucking Internet Explorers. Yes, what Greg said.